Yay! So for this month, our art history time period of the month is going to be ancient Mesopotamia. So many art history courses and textbooks will gloss over ancient creation, right? However, we start to see similarities and differences between ancient cultures, and that connects us to the really deep meaning of human expression. And I would really like for us to marinate here in this ancient world and truly understand what human creativity means before we go gallivanting off into illustrated manuscripts and Renaissance paintings and Dadaist ready-mades. So in the coming months, we will explore how art history developed from 8000 to 2000 BC all over the world. So in researching this series, I discovered a really wonderful interactive global art history timeline on the Met Museum website. It explores ancient art history all over the world, and I'm going to drop it in the description below, so I will have that link ready for you to check out. So today, let's get into ancient Mesopotamia. So the term Mesopotamia encompasses present-day Iraq and northeastern Syria, and ancient means 8000 to 2000 BC. So the first humans settled in this region of the world in the Paleolithic era. Remember, we talked about that. So by 14,000 BC, people lived in this area in really small settlements. And within the 5,000 years that followed, these settlements turned into really large farming communities. This follows the development of agriculture and the domestication of animals. So to support these settlements, these larger and larger settlements, they developed irrigation techniques that really capitalized on the proximity of the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. So I promise you there's maps for all this stuff. I promise. It'll be in the links below, okay? So Mesopotamia housed the world's first urban civilization with a really sophisticated cultural sphere that included music and art and literature. You know, we talked about all that in previous videos. So the Sumerians of Lower Mesopotamia founded the first cities, invented writing, developed poetry, and created really vast architectural structures. So the artwork that came out of this civilization is really reflective of that rich history. The subject matter is heavily influenced by the politics and the social structures, the military, religion, and of course, the natural environment. So Mesopotamians began creating art on a really large scale. And it was often like really grand architecture and metalwork. Because Mesopotamia was covered with such a vast amount of resources and covered such a long time and had so many leaders, it is really often divided into three distinct periods. So there's Sumerian, Babylonian, and Assyrian. So I don't really want to go into a deep dive into all three of those today. So I'm going to drop some other videos for you to watch in the description below that will talk about each of these cultural periods of Mesopotamian art. So again, check the description below for that. Of course, these are like well produced and engaging, but they're a bit long and they can be a bit dense. So if you have little ones, 4-year-olds, you may, as the parent, may want to watch it, but they may not love it. So just a reminder of that. There's also some have better quality than others, but that's explained below for you. So what I would like for us to focus on this month is that I want to talk about how art has really emerged from our desire to understand the cosmos, because we talked about that with the Paleolithic period, right? And our desire to really communicate with each other. So in the Paleolithic period, we learned about how creating things with our hands and our hearts has always been a part of what makes us human and has connected us to our spiritual selves and has helped us to explore our connection to nature and the cosmos, right? The ancient Mesopotamian period shows us that this connection to the spiritual realm also intertwines with our need to communicate with each other so that we can negotiate living in close quarters with other people. New building techniques like brick making and craft techniques like pottery and communication frameworks like writing were all created out of necessity. We needed to support more and more people living together. So the need for dedicated buildings for houses and worshiping and attempting at least to maintain some sense of order within a community really shaped the development of both architecture and art itself. So as you check out more examples of ancient Mesopotamian art, consider how the art you are trying to create, the art you create, is also trying to connect to the divine and to communicate with others. We really aren't all that different from folks 10,000 years ago, are we? Okay, let me know what you think of the other videos. Let me know what you think of ancient Mesopotamian art. I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to talk more about art techniques and free play ideas, all the fun stuff that we'll continue to go over this month. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. You can reach out to me anytime. You can also check in with me on my live stream. I'm here for you. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. I hope you have a great day.